Ever heard of speaking in tongues? For ages, this practice, also known as glossolalia, has been this deep, profound mystery, part spiritual experience, part linguistic puzzle. Well, get this. Science is finally starting to pull back the curtain on what's actually happening inside the brain. And trust me, the findings are pretty remarkable. But before we jump into the brain scans and all the data, let's just ground this in the human experience. This is a real quote from someone describing what it feels like. You see, it's not about sending a message with words. It's about this incredibly deep, personal feeling of connection, of safety, and that feeling right there, that's what sets the stage for everything we're about to explore. So here's the big question, right? Is this just random, meaningless babbling, or is there something way more structured, something profound going on under the surface? Researchers decided to find out by literally mapping what happens in the brain during this unique state of consciousness. First, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what this phenomenon actually is. We're talking about a language that seems to go beyond our normal understanding of words. To really get the neuroscience, we have to define what we're looking at, a practice that shows up again and again across different cultures and throughout history. Okay, so here's the textbook definition. The words to focus on here are spontaneous and bypasses known language. This isn't somebody learning a new language or reading from a script. It's this unplanned, organic flow of sound that doesn't play by the rules of any language we know. And this is definitely not some modern or isolated thing. Nope. It's like a thread woven through the entire tapestry of human history. From ancient scriptures to today's revivals and trance ceremonies all over the world, this kind of expression just keeps showing up. It kind of suggests it taps into something really fundamental about being human, doesn't it? All right, so this brings us to the heart of the mystery. What in the world is going on inside the brain? This is where the story gets really, really interesting. We're about to look at the actual neuroscience of surrender. So a team at the University of Pennsylvania took on this very question in a groundbreaking study. They used something called SPECT imaging, which is basically a way to see which parts of the brain are getting blood flow and firing up, to get a real-time peek inside someone's mind while they were experiencing glossolalia. And what they found was absolutely stunning. See, when you're talking normally, your frontal lobes, the brain's command and control center, are lit up like a Christmas tree. But during glossolalia, they go quiet. The part of your brain that's in charge, the part that exerts control, essentially just takes a back seat. The lead researcher, Dr. Andrew Newberg, said it himself. The brain scans basically confirmed what people have been saying for centuries. It doesn't feel like they are doing the talking. It feels like something is speaking through them. The science shows the brain's usual language-making machinery isn't being driven consciously. But here's a really important piece of the puzzle. It's not like the brain just shuts down. It's more of a trade-off. As those frontal lobes go quiet, other parts of the brain, the ones tied to our emotions, light up. It's like you're trading control for feeling, trading logic for a deeper kind of knowing. So if the brain's CEO goes on a coffee break, what does that actually feel like? Well, that brings us to the really powerful experience that comes out of this state of neurological surrender, this incredible feeling of release. This is what people who experience it say. Overwhelmingly, they describe it in really positive ways. This frontal silence isn't scary, it's freeing. It brings on this profound sense of peace, a major emotional release, and for many, a feeling of deep connection to something much bigger than themselves. It's a kind of truth you feel instead of think. You know, what's so crucial here is that the science actually validates the experience. For hundreds of years, outsiders often dismissed this as some kind of delusion or mental instability. But this research proves it's a real, measurable, and distinct state of the brain. It's not a disorder, it's just a different mode of being.
So this discovery is way bigger than just explaining an ancient practice. By showing us the incredible power of letting go, it might just be pointing us toward a whole new way to think about healing and our own mental well-being.
Yeah, this research basically gives us a new playbook, a kind of neurospiritual codex. First, it affirms that the experience is real. It's a legitimate neurological event, not just someone putting on a show. Second, it protects the mystical, suggesting this state is a part of our brain's design, not a delusion. Third, and this is huge, it could open up new doorways for healing, suggesting that surrender might be a powerful tool in therapy or trauma recovery. And finally, it completely challenges this idea we have in our culture that healing only comes from gaining more control. This shows us that sometimes true healing comes from letting it go. So, let's put it all together. We've seen that speaking in tongues is a real, measurable brain state defined by neurological surrender. The brain's control center quiets down, which lets the emotional centers activate. This frontal silence, as we've called it, is tied to these powerful feelings of peace and clarity. And maybe the biggest takeaway of all is that this research builds a bridge between science and spirituality, opening up brand new possibilities for healing. And that leaves us with one final thought. This ancient practice, now lit up by modern science, shows us a powerful truth about our own minds. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If such deep peace can be found just by letting go of the need to control every single word, what else in our lives are we holding on to so tightly? What might happen if we just let go?